Hi guys, this is Pete. Welcome back to Urban Party Tricks, coming at you from Red October, Moscow. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like and comment. Have a good time.
So Paul, please tell me, what do you mean by BIM?
Well, BIM is just an acronym meaning Building Information Modeling. It's typically used in order to coordinate the services, structure and envelope parts of a building model generated for a large, complex architectural infrastructure project. It allows everyone to be referring to the same things in creating space. But it's also administered by a central party, usually an architect or a head engineer, who will then ensure that everything is in the right place and functioning as it should.
And so what's happening when we switch from building information models to ecology information models?
Well, it's like chalk and cheese, really. Building information modeling is site-specific. It really only operates for one particular project, and the artifact that you're left with at the end is really just a maintenance tool, whereas ecological information modeling allows us to extend all the way into the supply chains of energy, food, agriculture, what have you. So the guts of the building, the intestines, what we call the building services, become inextricably linked and able to be quantified through state infrastructure, through national level infrastructure, all the way through to what we call endpoint nodes of supply, which gives a sort of added degree of accountability at that level. Who is extracting resources and
something 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 sensing and something something something.
Concept of federated learning merged with the concept of public ledger. Public ledger, when we do not mean exactly blockchains, as usually most of the people speak about it now, but public ledgers as so-called hash graphs, which is like an alternative view on public ledgers, and we are thinking about the way how actually this kind of technology can help develop some consensus mechanism for different city-scale models.
If you look at the classical blockchain, what's happening basically is that you have certain evolving structure, and suddenly there's some branching happening, multiple branches, everything aspiring to be a future paradigm of the history of the system. And in the blockchain technology, basically what you do, you always cut some of those branches and preserve only one. While, if you look at how hash graphs work, you always have multiple branches that are preserved. Imagine that these are individual users and they make certain transactions together. So, for example, if you have this guy talking to this guy, what's happening is this guy is telling this guy everything that happened before about these transactions. And the funny thing is that you have no central branch. You keep all these branches on the table.
Let's just scale up and talk about ecological information models instead, talking about the ways how actually these different ecological models can be stacked into each other, merged into each other, or not exactly merging. We want to preserve a certain kind of autonomy of these models, because we think that this kind of parallax views that they offer as a separate perspectives are actually precious, and we need to preserve this diversity of models.
Certain kind of undermining, and so this stage is the death of the user. There's a certain kind of death of a certain for humanism, and the eclipse of a certain sort introduces a certain kind of
It's really interesting.
Mayor, yeah, like, and the city is like,
case.
it's built for mayors from different cities that they can come to this neighborhood and then they can choose the app they want to install in their city, like going through this
like a real life
city
app store,
saying like I want this kind of financial
concept,
system, or I want
the
this
way
kind of
Google
municipal services, or this kind of
selling itself.
infrastructure.
It's like, and they simulate the real smart
like
city,
sharp.
and at the same time it's a camouflage for just.
But contribute, but distributed, but about distribution, a contribution, right of those, but without image, but echo, but redistribution, but that event place, redistribution, attributable via distribution, but contribute, but distributed, but about distribution, a contribution, right of those, but without image, but echo, but redistribution, but that event place, redistribution, attributable.
In old Israel? So in old Israel, usury was illegal, usury being the ability to charge interest on a loan. But it was legal to charge interest to outsiders, i.e. people that came from outside of the city gates, and that's how it's defined semantically as well. And so within your city gates, you define those who you could not charge interest to, your inner circle, by shibboleths, particular words which you shared, which no one else used. And shibboleth obviously being an old Hebrew word. So what that means is that the shared language, or the jargon, is completely dictating the types of economic relationships you have within your city gate and without it. That's it.
Computational accomplishes computation, complex, complexification, computer to computer, contributors comprise computing, composites, computing companies, compare, complete, computation, computers, accomplishment, complex, accomplish, composite, complexities, comparison, accomplishments, complex, computing, complex.
Что делать, если вас обстрекала сцефоидная медуза? Интернет рекомендует потереть место.
And then you do it again, and then again, and you feed this back through the system over and over and over and over and over again, and then you do it again, and then again, and you feed this back through the system over and over and over and over and over again, and it starts to actually.
There's the question of life expectancy, right? Like how long do we take for something to be really expired? Is it 3 months? Is it 7 years? Is it cross-generational? Can we do something where we're actually here, and then we're creating proxies of ourselves for the future, and proxies of ourselves for the past, producing replicas and copies, infinite copies, and then even more proxies, and more proxies. Yeah, that's it.
Давай я крупно сниму коралл.
And so sort of to switch all or thing in different sorts of ways, which is sort of these other kinds of alien.